So I've just been away camping for a week, and unfortunately, when I was in a field at the time, I was on grass, but I managed to drop the bike on its side, fell off the stand onto this pannier. There's no damage done. I managed to lift it up, but I realised later that the pannier is damaged. There's a gap opened up here. You can see the rubber seal through it, and this is at a distinct angle. So not surprisingly, this bottom edge has been pushed in with the weight of the bike landing on the grass. So I'm going to have an investigate, I think, and try and work out whether I can get it back to where it should be. Right, so back home now, and yeah, there's the box. This is the bit that fell out. So it's obviously, I have no idea where it's come from yet, but it's clearly snapped off pretty comprehensively. I suspect that must be inside one of these side panels. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but this is clearly bent away from the side. This side looks intact. So this is the side where most of the damage has been done. I'm just looking at the sides. Yeah, I mean, you can see that angle there is way away from where it should be. This is the deep side, of course, the non-exhaust side. So the bike just flopped onto its side. There's no forward motion at all, but there again, it was fully laden. Had all the camping gear on the back, and both panniers full, and the top box pretty full as well. So it was pretty heavy. Anyway, it looks like these screws come out. I've watched. So these screws look to be stainless to me. Yeah, they are stainless, which is nice. Let's try and get this arm out for a start. Gonna have to try and keep these screws organised so I don't forget where they've come from. Oops, lost that down there, never mind. Oh, it doesn't fold back, I thought it would. So I've lost the washer down there. Here's the other screw. Let's press on, taking these off. Yes, the washer on these ones are bigger than the ones here, because they need to retain these, I guess. So, do you think these pull off now? Oh, yes they do. Yeah, I wonder if that means that this whole lot comes out. Probably not. Oh, that's slides up and down now. It would seem, yeah. Oh. There's something catching this side still. Ah, there's a broken piece. I bet that's what this, where this is from. Do you reckon? Yes, it is, isn't it? So I suspect there's one of those on this side that's stopping it from lifting up. Aha! Yeah, I can see it there. There's the square sort of lug. There we go. So yes, that I just pulled the side mechanism away from this outer, and that is the lug that I've lost on this side. Just have a look at that. Yeah, so this is obviously crucial to keeping the thing in place, molded into this ring, and this piece has been snapped off, so fits nicely there. I guess that could be glued, but it's a pretty dodgy connection. I need to probably reinforce it somehow, or make a new one. Anyway, we'll work that out later. By the look of it, there are 1, 2, 3 screws. So that one is that one. Okay, and there's that one, and something under here probably. So I probably need to take this lot off as well. And these are all Torx. So let's do that next. So these screws all look to be Torx T30s. Something dropped off in there. There we go, yeah. Oh, so it's a washer with a, sorry, it's a nut with a captive washer. So where was that? That was, oh, it's these, okay. Ah, right, so the captive washer is actually on the inside. And there's a hex, I guess, moulded into there. Yes, there is. There's a hexagon moulded into the plastic. Nice. So let's take off the other ones. I think all this has got to come off. I'll leave that on for now. I might come off with this piece. Ah, nice bit of thread lock on those. I wonder if they're all the same length. Must be able to see why these are expensive now. These panniers, I mean, they're overpriced probably, or at least BMW sort of prices, but there's a lot of engineering in it. Oh, it's not going to come out. Maybe I should take these out. Is that going to be a problem? Because these are the sliding parts, aren't they, that lock into the hangers. Ooh, what do you reckon? I reckon those will, they must be part of this, mustn't they? Oh, it's feeling freer now. Aha! There we go. So these, whoops, yeah, these last screws will drop out, I think. It looks as if they are all the same length, so that's good. Don't need to worry about, oh, hang on a minute, those two short ones. Okay, it's two short ones, and those are different lengths, aren't they? No, they're the same. So those two are short, and the rest are all long. So, right. So that obviously is the mechanism for sliding the locks across these two locks. As you've hung it on the side of the bike, these two move across with the handle, this operating lever. Again, a lot of engineering. Lots of stainless steel screws, sliders, etc. So I'm just going to put a mark on these. So that's short and that one's short. Just so I remember. With that out of the way, I can get to these screws. These three, which I think will release the side mechanism. Yeah, these three are Torx T20s. And that one is longer. So again, that's worth knowing. So that one is long. Put an L on there for long. Oh, and sure enough, yeah, those come out. So I guess this screw, and obviously this one, and probably one inside. Yeah, two inside. They obviously hold this corner piece on. I think this is undamaged by the looks of it. Interestingly, there's staples around the edge here, holding the rubber seal in. And that has indeed, as I said before, having said it's undamaged, the only damage is this seal having been lifted out slightly. But I think that'll just, I can ease that back in. Oh, let's pull the staple now. Look. Looks like that staple is torn through the rubber slightly. So I'll take that staple out. So I think I should be able to ease that back in. Yeah, so that's one position. And that's the other position. So yeah, sure enough, that's obviously the narrow setting with these 2 points pulled in. And turn that around. If I can keep these straight. Yeah, that's the wide setting. So that's quite neat. And these are lined up. They're both in the fully out position correctly together. So yeah, that's quite neat. So obviously this gear is just to change the direction of rotation of this wheel. So these two go in opposite directions. Yeah, it's nice. Nice and clean in there as well. There's no sign of any grit or anything. I'm always tempted to lubricate stuff like this, but I think that'll be a mistake in this case. I mean, plastic on plastic is pretty good lubricant anyway. I'm sure they've engineered it appropriately. And I mean, it's not as if it's turning continuously at all. It's once in a blue moon, it goes through half a turn. So it's not exactly a high wear situation. So any lubricant in there would just attract grit and dust. So best left alone, as BMW intended. So with respect to this seal, I think if I take this, whoops, staple out, that was easy. Not sure where it went. Yeah, that should avoid any confusion with that having been pulled out. And then this, with a bit of luck, should just pop back in. Yeah, there we go. No problem. I wonder if I can see why that sort of bounces up and down. I can see why they've got a staple in there now. And it goes in okay, but it pops back out again. I think I might need to stick that in just as a temporary measure, perhaps. The way this seal seems to work is that it's obviously fits in the groove, but then there's this lip which just protrudes above this surface and obviously slides on the inside of the hoop section. So just to seal along that edge. And this corner is slightly compressed downwards. And they all are. This one is as well. So yeah. does need some positive attachment, in which case I might put a staple back in. In fact, I will put a staple in there. It's good enough for BMW, it's good enough for me. These staples aren't stainless, by the way, evidently. Rust on these ones down here, which is the lower side, is it? Yes, it is the lower side. Anyway, got a staple gun. Staples aren't quite as wide, so I'll go. Yeah. So that staple is slightly narrower than the ones that BMW have used, but the length isn't too bad. Yeah, I think that's worth a try. Okay, so that seal is pushed in properly. So if I can just whack a staple in here, make sure I know where it comes out from. Not too bad, hasn't quite gone in far enough. There you go. That should hold that seal in place. Yeah, I think that'll do. Certainly better than it was, and it shouldn't pop out again at least. And the other thing I've just realised, just checking this thing out, and I should have noticed before, this side, which we were just looking at, these wheels do line up, but this side, they obviously don't. So either it's stripped the teeth, or it's just jumped the teeth. Hopefully it's just jumped them and offset these two with respect to each other. So that's going to be sorted out. When this is horizontal, get this arm back in. Yeah, when that's horizontal, this one is okay, but this one is way off. So let's take off this wheel and see how badly damaged the teeth are. Trusty plier wrench. So a nice big washer on there, looks like an M5. Screw. Ooh. Keep those safe. So there we go. So it's not a complete ring of teeth because it doesn't need to be. This one, it looks to me as if that has just been forced over and jumped a tooth or two. I wonder if they designed it that way. In the expectation if it did get bashed, it would flex enough to let these teeth skip over each other. But that is definitely what's happened looking at those. So it jumped, I should have made a note, shouldn't I? It jumped probably 1, 2, maybe 3 teeth, which again on this side will be these ones. You can certainly see that they've been burred over slightly, but not too bad. Still good enough to work. I think I'll just take off this wheel and just dress it up with a file, get those burrs off, and them should be good to go. Well, that's not coming out for some reason. Oh, because it's got a little lug on it there. It's annoying. Why would they do that, I wonder? Actually, maybe that's the whole point. Maybe if it gets overloaded, this can flex in and save the teeth from snapping off. I won't be at all surprised. That would make some sense. I don't know whether it's worth taking this off at all. It's obviously not going to be quite as easy as I expected. Oh, there we go. Maybe it is. Well, that's quite neat. If that's the case, they've deliberately made allowance for this to cant over slightly under extreme conditions. I say save snapping off the teeth. That was pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, that's not too bad, is it? I mean, it's say just a very slight issue there. This one, yeah, it's just these three teeth. This is very hard plastic, by the way. It's obviously, I would guess, glass reinforced nylon, but a proper engineering plastic, not your cheap sort of rubbish. Yeah, that's fine. Right, so let's stick that back in. So where was that? That was there, I think. With that catch on that side, which hooks under here. It should just pop back in. So I can put this one back on to retain those two gears in place. So then this one needs to be in the same orientation as this. Which, is that right? It's either there or there. That's not right, is it? No. So I think it is one tooth this way, like that. Yeah, that looks better. Good. I'm a bit surprised how close that gets to this edge. It's actually, if you can see it, but that's sort of kind of bowed out slightly. But it seems to be the way it works. Yeah. And this one must be the same. Yeah, they go out around the outside, and again, this one's got a slight recess for this metal part to ease itself round. I'm surprised at that. It's pretty close. Anyway, that's good. So both of those are where they should be. So three things wrong. The seal had popped out, got that back in. This had jumped a tooth, jumped three teeth, and was misaligned, so that's done. The final thing is this lug, which I say is a bit more complicated, I think. But they seem to slide up and down inside between these stops. So yeah, looking at this, if this is mounted in place on there as it normally would be, there's this bumps here, bump stop as it were, on that side, and there should be one on this side. So that just stops this upper part moving up too far and sort of stops it, keeps it all rigid with 4 points of contact. Okay, so this is the challenge. There's the place where it's broken away. Here's the piece again, and it does actually fit really well in there. The plastic is sort of rigid enough not to have deformed as it's broken. It's just cracked basically, so it fits neatly together. So maybe I will get away with just super gluing it in. I think I might try that. Now I know how it comes apart, I could always come back and reattach it somehow, perhaps with some metal support, like a sheet of aluminium or something, or even make a sort of dummy stop out of metal and with a bigger strip and sort of screw it in place or something. Anyway, for now I think I am just going to super glue it back in. Obviously this side needs to maintain the gap because that's where the bottom half goes and slides through. So yeah, so kind of everything protruding into this space basically. So I think, yeah, take some super glue and just stick that in place. Turns out I do actually still have some E6000 knocking around, so I think you can really try this. Got a bit more give than cyanoacrylate. I'll leave that for a few hours to harden and try again. Yeah, that does make more sense. Oh, I know what's that on. I'm going to whip a screw in there straight away before it pops off again. Hang on a minute, that's the one with the big washer and the strap. Right. Phew. Yeah, that seems much better. So again, I can go back around the other side and put these screws in this side. So I should have a long one, which is this. These are the T20s. And a bit of right, so that side of the mechanism is in. I think that's all correct. So yeah, as the two halves move up and down, these lugs slide between these two stops on this side plate. So that's starting to make sense now. Right, let's get the other one in. On this side. Good. That's all right. So again, these three screws from the other side, which I think are all short in this case. Should be these three, which should go here. I'll put this handle back in and see if it works for a start. Right, there you go. Yeah, that seems all right. So the two screws for the handle are these. So if I can find that. Yeah, that's good. Again, it's quite stiff, but I'm realising now that that's mainly because of the seal rather than the gearing. Right. So all that's left to do now is put this piece on the back, which is this. And it should just go straight on, I think. That should. I can find the hole. Of course, this red lever here has got this long rod on it. So I just need to pick up the end of that somehow. If I can see it through this hole. Oh yeah, I can actually feel it through here. I can feel it on the inside, so I can make sure that it's lining up. There we go. Good. So 2 small, short screws, which are these, and the rest are all long. They're all T30. I need to make sure there's a nut on the inside. So where am I on that one there, which is here. Yeah, it's engaged with the thread. Good. Second short screw and nut. And the rest are the long ones. Right, so that's everything back together. I think all the screws are in. Let's just check that this still works and it's all aligned correctly. Yeah, that seems fine. And the mechanism itself, it's all square now, all the way around, which is good. And that extension works fine. So that's fully up, and that's fully down. So yeah, all good. This is the lug that dropped off, I think, and it doesn't actually do a great deal. It just provides a positive stop as you reach the fully up or fully down position. So there's not a lot of load on it, so hopefully that will survive. But we'll see. If it doesn't, then I'll maybe have to think again. But the other 2 faults, the fact that the gears had jumped 3 teeth, so it was cockeyed, fixed that, and also with it taking that hit and going out of true, it pulled the seal out of this corner, so that's now back in as well. So yeah, quite pleased with that, and hopefully it will perform okay in the future. Thanks for watching.